Well, welcome to 2024 and our first council meeting of the year. Can I get a motion, please, that we move that the agenda for the January 9th, 2024 regular meeting of council be adopted as presented? Go ahead, Deputy Mayor Chouinard. Thank you, Councillor Chouinard. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none, all those in favor? That motion is carried. Can I get a motion, please, the minutes of the December 5th, 2023 regular meeting of council be adopted as presented? Go ahead, Councillor Moore.
I so move.
Thank you, Councillor Moore. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none, all those in favor? That motion is carried. Can I get a motion, please, the minutes of the December 12th, 2023 special meeting of council be adopted as presented? Go ahead, Councillor Taylor.
I so move.
Thank you, Councillor Taylor. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none, all those in favor? That motion is carried unanimously. We have no public hearings, no delegations, no reading of bylaws. Can I get a motion, please? The council set reserve bids for the properties scheduled for tax sale on January 17th, 2024, as listed in Attachment 1. Councillor Chachka, go ahead.
I so move.
Thank you very much. And we have Tricia Papke, our accounting supervisor, here to present on this evening. Go ahead, Tricia.
Good evening. Next week on January 17th, we have the public auction set for recovery of unpaid property taxes. Properties scheduled for public auction must have a reserve bid set by council, and this is regulated by the MGA. So after consulting with the town of Edson assessor, reserve bids have been, for the properties that are scheduled for tax sale, have been included in the attachment for council's consideration.
All right, thank you, Ms. Papke, for the presentation, and we will open the floor to any questions from council. Pretty standard, and we do this every January. So if there are no questions, I will call the question. All those in favor? That motion is carried. Thank you very much. Can I get a motion, please? The council authorize the town of Edson enter into the Northwest Alberta Emergency Resource Agreement, a multi-municipality mutual agreement for the Northwest region of Alberta. Councillor Chouinard.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Councillor Chouinard. And we have our fire chief, Brad Milton, with us here this evening. Welcome, Chief. Just cue your mic, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Council. What I'm here to present is the Northwest Mutual Aid Agreement, the Northwest Alberta Emergency Resource Agreement. What this will enable the town to do is have access to more equipment and more municipal resources in the event of an emergency. What this has after our summer that we had, this is a very large agreement with a number of different municipalities. This can assist us during a large event to get anything from a dozer to a front end loader to municipal fire equipment and the like. So what this does is opens up many, many more doors for us, including more access to not only the North Central all hazard incident management team that we had access to this summer, but as well as the Northern incident management team as well to assist us. So this gives us a bigger pool of those that can assist us for a sustained event for our incident management team and those working in the ECC.
All right, thank you, Chief Milton, for your presentation. Council, any questions, comments, or concerns? Go ahead, Councillor Bevan.
On this year, through the mayor, on this year, so there's still openings for other communities to come and join if they want to also, eh?
That is, through the chair to Councillor Bevan, that is correct. Right now, I do know that Jasper, for example, is part of this agreement. We would be a part of this agreement if passed tonight. I know Hinton is looking at this agreement as well, and the intent is to try to expand this even more if possible through the north.
All right, thank you. Councillor Chachka.
Thanks. Through the mayor to Chief Milton. So I'm curious. I noticed on there that it said that we would be able to have extra supports in other events other than fires, right? Which was great. Would our situation have looked any different, do you think, if we were part of this prior to the fires? Like we did receive a lot of help from communities rather quickly. Would this I'm just wondering how this would change, you know, if we would be able to like put this template on what we have already been through, what differently it would have looked like, if you have any ideas.
Thank you through the chair to Councillor Chechka. It may have changed the outcome slightly. It just, again, what it does is enables us to have more access to more equipment. The idea of with any mutual aid agreement that we may maintain or enter into doesn't mean that the municipality that we're calling has to provide equipment. So if we would have received the call, similar if we were part of this agreement and we cannot supply a unit or manpower or personnel, then we can't be held liable for that. But it may have opened up more doors just to get a little bit more of equipment. So,
Thank you very much. Councillor Chenard.
Mayor to the fire chief. I noticed it's all towns and only one counties. Were counties approached too? Because I mean, we have vast counties. I would like to see them part of the agreement, or is there a separate agreement?
thank you through the chair to Councillor Chenard. I'm not sure why there is only one county on that. This was led by the fire chief from high level a number of years ago, and then it's just kind of expanded from there. It may depend on the available resources of the counties if they didn't want to enter in, because they do have such a large area. So the reduction in equipment may be challenging for some of the counties.
Yeah, so we have County of Grand Prairie number 1, County of Northern Lights, Lac St. Anne County, Mackenzie County. The list goes on and on and on. Thank you. Thank you very much, Chief Milton, for that. So a question to you. Obviously, in the spring, we had a lot of resources that were staged here in the town of Edson outside of this agreement. We were under a provincial emergency. Obviously, when we look at things like this, we're looking at the benefits to us. But correct me if I'm wrong, you also have deployed to high level this past spring, and we have provided support to other municipalities outside of this agreement.
Yes, through the chair to Mr. Mayor. We have provided support. We did receive a call from the PEC, from the province, requesting if we had available resources, which we did deploy myself and 4 other members with a unit to high level to assist with the Bassett Creek fire. This could also be enacted through that. There's multiple different ways we can kind of go about acquiring equipment during an emergency, particularly fires. We can go through the PEC and try to get that equipment, which they help make those calls. Obviously, this spring and the summer, what we've seen is it was an unprecedented year, so there was a large amount of equipment that wasn't available. If we had a normal fire year and we had a threat to the town, this may suffice versus having to go through the PEC. Also, some of the costing is slightly different in this compared to the provincial deployment numbers, but not significantly. So.
All right, thank you, Chief Milton. Council, is there any other further questions? Seeing none, I will call the question. All those in favor? That motion is carried unanimously. Thank you, Chief Milton. Can I get a motion, please, that Council adopt investment policy FI2? Councillor Bevan?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Councillor Bevan, and this will be presented by Mr. Paul Hanlon, our General Manager of Corporate Services.
Thank you, sir. Through you to all of Council. Council will recall that this was last brought before the Committee of the Whole on December 12th, 2023. Initial response was, I believe, fairly positive. We have added a quarterly update to the policy brought forward here this evening for your consideration. As mentioned in December, this is based on investment policies that we've seen throughout the province, mostly dated 2019 to 2021, allowing to ensure security of investments, liquidity of assets, and growth of that while reducing the cost for investing to the town of Edson. With that, sir, happy to answer any questions of the proposed policy.
Thank you, Mr. Hanlon. Council, do you have any questions? We did discuss this quite a length at committee. So seeing no questions, I will call the question. All those in favor? That motion is carried unanimously. Can I get a motion, please, that Council repeal investment policy FI1 and investment procedure FI1? Go ahead, Councillor Chachka.
I so move.
Thank you very much. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none, all those in favor? That motion is carried unanimously. All right. Before we go into this next item, I just want to let council know that we do have an in-camera item on this matter as well. So there'll be two sections to this later on in this meeting. This has to do with the YCE Multiplex Construction Management Contract. So can I get a motion, please, that council approve the YCE Steering Committee recommendation to award the construction management and construction services contract for the YCE Multiplex facility be awarded to Clark Builders for a fee of 2.6% of the construction budget. Councillor Pisichny?
Yeah, I so move.
Thank you, and this will be presented by Mr. Doug Wagstaff, General Manager of Community and Protective Services. Go ahead, Doug.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to set the context for public who may be tuning in and listening is the Yellowhead County Edson is what YE or YCE stands for. So the YCE Multiplex Project is a steering committee as well as a project management team that consists of administration, the town of Edson, from the town of Edson and Yellowhead County, with advisors from Tango Management and GEC Architecture, as well as representatives from each council. Those two groups have been working on a schematics design for the YCE project. Part of this project process was hiring a construction management firm to perform the constructability reviews of the design that would help us finalize the budget through their own independent cost analysis and finalize the construction schedule. In this process, they would transform from a role as an advisor into that of a general contractor. In September, we put out a request for qualifications inviting interested parties to submit proposals so they should showcase their expertise, their experience, and the primary purpose was to pre-screen the potential candidates or the companies. That RFQ resulted in 7 proposals being submitted. From those proposals, there were 3 shortlisted firms that were invited to respond to a request for proposal. These 3 firms were Chandos Construction, Bird Construction, and Clark Builders. In early December, we completed another evaluation process from those proposals. We also completed interviews with each of the prospective teams, though Chandos Construction did decline to proceed further through the process. That left 2 firms, Bird Construction and Clark Builders. From that process, a recommendation from the project management team came to the steering committee. From that point in time, the steering committee then is making a recommendation that Clark Builders be the construction management firm. It is imperative that we select a construction partner who can build our vision into a functional and visually appealing facility that meets the needs of our community, as well as meeting financial targets and construction schedule. Just a little bit of a background on Clark Builders and the rationale why we're recommending that they be approved for this construction management contract. Clark Builders is an Edmonton-based company that has considerable experience constructing and renovating sports and recreation projects. They have well over 20 projects just within the greater Edmonton region alone, and they are very familiar with our region. They have experience in renovating complex projects. As an example, the Beaumont Sports and Recreation Center, that was a new build as well as an expansion, renovation, and they maintained operations during the construction period. So that was one thing that we really cued into with regards to their experience. They did so in a manner that was, they were able to plan it appropriately, manage, minimize the disruptions, and have a safe construction site while we're still they were still maintaining operations of a recreation center. Within this bid, the core leadership team of Clark Builders has been assigned to the YCE project, and they have a great working relationship, through the references that we looked at, and they have assured us that as much as any company can, that core leadership team would be here to provide continuity through the project, as this is a 3-year construction project. They've demonstrated a clear understanding that the YCE project scope is something that they understand, and they understand the risks, and we believe they have the expertise and experience and a team required to move this project forward. With regards to the finances in the proposal, the construction management fee of this project is 2.6% of the construction budget overall. That the current target for construction of the YCE multiplex project is $59,300,000 for construction purposes. This would reflect an amount of just over 1.5 million. And this recommendation is within the overall project target of the $70 million budget for this project. That breakdown is pre-construction, so they're going to help us work through the costing analysis. We're going to blend in the work with GEC and Tango Management to ensure that there is a schedule in place that can be met, a timeline, as well as a budget cost analysis. Those fees are $9,500 in the pre-construction piece. Following pre-construction, it would return to the steering committee for a recommendation on schematic design and final budget analysis, which would then come back to council as well. And a construction period at this point in time looking like a September 2024 to April 2027, totaling some fees there of $82,500 for total fees and services of $92,500 pre-construction advice. Then there's a percentage of the construction budget itself at working out at 0.15% and a 2.45% total cost of the fees overall. So that works out to an average of 2.6% of the construction budget. With regards to that, of course, if the budget was to go up or down in changes throughout the process at this point, that would be reflective in the final dollar amount, but the percentage would remain as the same amount throughout. So that gives us some ability to project out a relation to what our costs are with regards to the construction management firm. Again, also this is a regional partnership with being cost shared, 50-50 split between the town of Edson and Yellowhead County. The construction budget, as I said, is still to be finalized. That would happen at the completion of the schematic design, at which time we would be going back to the steering committee for a recommendation. If approved, Clark Builders would begin work with GEC Architecture, the town of Edson, and Yellowhead County, with the oversight of Tango Management on the schematic design. And this would lay the groundwork for construction planning during the next important stage of building the facility. They would transfer from advice into a construction management, or the general contractor, my apologies. The next stage of this project is to meld those two pieces together so that we can conclude a cost analysis and a constructability review, providing this project to move to the next stage. I believe so.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Wagstaff, for that presentation. Council, we'll open the floor to any questions or comments. Quiet bunch tonight. So this project has been very frustrating from the get-go, and I'm very happy to see this happening tonight. We're finally could see the light at the end of the tunnel with shovels in the ground and construction hopefully occurring here later this year. Clark Builders has really good reputation. The steering committee administration have been working very hard on a rescoped project after the cost escalations we've seen over the last number of years to a facility that I think is going to be very functional that is going to serve the needs of our community, that I think people are going to be very happy to have a pool that actually operates properly and those sorts of things. So lots of work to occur later this year on this project. A lot of heavy lifting has been done and will continue to be done, but this is a major step forward. So I'm certainly in support of this. Yellowhead County did unanimously support this as well earlier this afternoon during their council meeting. So council, if you have no questions or comments, I will call the question. All those in favor? That motion is carried unanimously. Thank you very much. Can I get a motion, please, that council accept the January 9th, 2024 information items as set out in attachment 1 as information? Go ahead, Councillor Chachka.
I so move.
Thank you very much. I haven't mispronounced your last name yet. Perfect. Awesome. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? That motion is carried. We have no sundry items. Council committee reports. We are going back to December the 6th, and we will start today with, who should we start with? Councillor Chenard.
Okay. So going back, I can't find that one date. The special meeting date we had in December, I can't find it. And on December 18th, we had our interprovincial Christmas party with Yellowhead County, Town of Hinton. January 2nd, I had a meeting with the deputy mayor of Yellowhead County and the mayor. And on January 4th, I had a Trans-Canada Highway meeting in Edmonton. And that's it for my report.
Thank you, Councillor Chenard. And we will go to Councillor Moore. You're good. Go ahead. No. No.
Okay, there we go. Good. All right, I won't. Yeah, December 12th, Committee of the Whole meeting, followed by our special meeting for after that. And December 18th, I attended the intermunicipal dinner in Hinton. And that's it.
All right. Thank you very much, Councillor Moore. And we will move on to Councillor Pasichny.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Going back to December 5th, so I had the Special Committee of the Whole. I was unable to attend the chambers, so Councillor Chachka attended on my behalf, but I did attend the Pastor Civic Luncheon that day. That's not a thing. The intermunicipal Christmas party on the 18th, the YCE Steering Committee meeting on the 19th. On the 4th of January, I attended the Edson Seniors Transportation Board meeting. A few things to report on that. The board has, for the first time in a very, very, very long time, have made a very slight increase to the fees for the buses. So they're going up $1. So instead of $3, it'll be $4, and instead of $5, it'll be $6 for non-members. And a new rate, as the strategic plan for the Transportation Society, which will be announced next week, is they're going to have it all persons, so ages 54 and under will have a rate of $8 per trip. So that is the first time in a very, very long time, but it was a very small increase, but the board felt that with inflation and everything going on, that it was not a huge increase, but it was a bit of an increase. I'm not going to go by percentage because in low numbers it sounds bad. Then I need you to mark your calendars, and the community can mark their calendars, because on April the 20th, 24 is going to be the annual trivia night, which is a great event in the community that people enjoy going to. The buses have extended their hours to 7 days per week, and it is having great results. The bus is seeing a huge increase of riders each week just because of it, and it's going to churches. It's going. The people are now, because they work during the day, they're now able to take people out for dinners and stuff. So it's actually having way more success than they anticipated. To give you an idea of where the bus is at, in 2022 there was. This does not include charters, so the bus does do personal charters where you can book the whole bus. Like, for instance, the Lodge will book a bus to go to Hinton. This does not include that. In 2022, there was 3,585 individuals took 5,163 trips in Edson. In 2023, 4,019 individuals took 5,402 trips in Edson. So there is an increase in ridership. The upcoming soon, we'll have our accountants review will be happening in mid-February. The EGM is happening on March the 7th. And they'll be coming to us in March because as per the agreement with the town of Edson, they're going to be contacting our administration, looking for a time on our schedule to come and give us a presentation. So that is coming soon. And I think, oh, and then yesterday we had our youth council meeting. And that is my report.
Thank you very much, Councilor Pacicini. Those numbers that you quoted, they're just a quick question. That doesn't include trips made for fire response. That's outside of that.
Those would be considered charters.
Okay. Thank you very much. And we will go to Councilor Chachka.
Okay, thank you. So on December 7th, I had a Community Futures West Yellowhead Investment Review Committee meeting. December 12th, I had the Committee of the Whole meeting and then the special meeting of council following that. On December 13th, I attended the Edson Chamber of Commerce regular meeting as an alternate. And they were reviewing their Christmas, a few of their things that just happened, the parade, and they had to cancel their Christmas party because they didn't have enough tickets sold. As a part of being a bit more strategic, they are reviewing all of the events that they do and maybe eliminating events that don't align with their strategy of supporting businesses and helping businesses. So they will be reviewing their businesses their events and the different things that they do throughout the year and see what aligns with their strategic plan and what doesn't. So there could be some changes that we'll see with the chamber going forward. And a couple dates coming up. The trade show is April 26th and 27th, and I believe you can already register your table. And the summer festival is July 10th, 11th, and 12th of this year. And on December 18th, I attended a homelessness, mental health, and addictions task force meeting, which was really progressive. So looking at making a few changes to the way that is set up so we can have a better opportunity to gather resources. On December 19th, the Multiplex Steering Committee meeting, we had that, which is what you guys just heard from Mr. Wagstaff. So that's what we went over. And then January 4th, another Community Futures West Yellowhead Investment Review Committee meeting. And on both meetings, we approved some new business loans. So there's lots of action happening there. And that's my report.
Thank you very much. And we will go to Councilor Taylor.
Yeah, through the mayor, on December 12th, I attended Committee of the Whole meeting, and the 12th as well, I had the special meeting of council. On the 18th, along with Councillor Chaka, right? Yes. I attended a homelessness task force meeting where the group, and I agree, this was probably the most progressive meeting we've had in a while, where we've decided to sort of formalize the group and put it into a society so that in the future we can apply for some funding and take some strategic action to homelessness. And I'm excited to be part of that. And so that was on the 18th. Also on the 18th, the Intermunicipal Christmas Dinner. On January 4th was the first meeting of now what we call the Edson and District Homelessness Task Force, where we formalized it into a society. And in the future, we're going to create sort of what goal we want to achieve with that task force, whatever the goal that is. And of course, we have lots of, whether it's emergency shelter or transitional housing or some sort of progressional timeline of things. And we're going to be looking at the greater membership to help us. Looking at the board itself, real quick, is made up of Christy Gamolka, Viv Williams, Marcia Jensen, Kayla Mitchell, and myself. And then beyond that has many other stakeholders from the RCMP, from AHS, from the Evergreens Foundation, and many other stakeholders with regards to homelessness. So excited to see where that's going to end up and how we're going to be progressing over that in the weeks to months to come. So. And then last night, that's the 8th, I attended a youth council meeting, and as I said before, the youth council is focusing on homelessness, and they're going to be doing a bit of a fundraiser for homelessness, and whether I think it's for a special dinner they want to put on, and for some coats for youth through hopefully wayfinding, and some more to come on that in the months to come. That's my report.
Thank you, Councillor Taylor and Councillor Bevan.
On the 12th, the committee of the whole meeting and a special council meeting, and the 13th of the pastor's luncheon. And that's it.
Right. Thank you, Councillor Bevan. And for myself, the Committee of the Whole Special Council meeting on the 12th. On December the 15th, I received a call from our Member of Parliament, Gerald Soroka, and I don't know if Council is aware of this, but he wanted to inform me of the Marine Act Amendment Act, C-33, that is being put forward. My understanding is from the Bloc Québécois, which basically would expedite the banning of shipping of thermal coal out of the ports in Canada ahead of our agreed upon timeline that has been in place. I believe it's 2030. So with this Amendment Act, it would basically give the Environment Minister carte blanche to make the decision on when that would happen. This is very concerning. We have coal mines in our region. But it's not just when we talk about coal and thermal coal, it's not just about the coal jobs, it's about the railway jobs. CN Rail has a lot of employees in this area. It's about the port jobs in Vancouver. And the real, which is not really surprising when it comes to the federal government and what's been going on in Ottawa, this would only ban Canadian thermal coal from going through the port. American thermal coal could still go and be shipped out through Vancouver and other ports in Canada because of free trade agreements. It's absolutely ridiculous. So I know that Hinton Council has been discussing this. It was on their agenda tonight. I don't know what the discussion was for them. So I would ask, and I can certainly provide more information as it becomes available. It's kind of something that's happening very quickly. That's probably going to be coming before Parliament in the spring. So I would ask that Council authorize me to join any advocacy efforts with our regional partners against C-33, the Marine Act Amendment Act, as it does seem to be yet another attack on Alberta and our economy. So I don't know if anybody on Council would be willing to put forward that motion to allow me to do that, because this information is coming very quickly. Unfortunately, I haven't heard anything from any of our regional partners as it was on their agenda earlier today. Go ahead, Councillor Chenard.
Are you looking for that motion tonight?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so if we can get someone to wordsmith, I'd be more than happy to put that motion forward. And while we're waiting on that, I had one question for Councillor Persichny on the seniors bus. Just clarification, you said age 54. At one time, the seniors bus was age 45. And the second part to that, they were open if someone was temporarily disabled, let's say someone 30 years old broke their leg and needed to hire the bus, would that be available to them?
Councillor Persichny, would you like to answer that, and then we'll put the motion on the floor? Go ahead.
Yeah, through the chair to Councillor Chenard. The reason for the new rate is they are expanding it to more than just seniors, and as per the strategic plan, the association is going to be rebranding, and they're going to be dropping the word seniors. So it's that's not for me to announce, but that's going to be in the upcoming week. They're going to put a blurb in the paper, and it's going to be moving to called Moving Edson. And the reason for the rate is to allow people who aren't seniors to use the bus.
All right, thank you. Is Amanda on the line? Okay. So as we're working on that, the other things that I attended, the intermunicipal dinner on the 18th, the YCE meeting on the 19th, and then Councillor Chenard and I joined the Mayor of the County and the Deputy Mayor of the County to discuss intermunicipal issues on January the 2nd. This is when we put the Jeopardy music on. Hi, Amanda. We're having some audio problems there, Amanda.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, perfect. Okay, can you see my screen share, Mayor Zahara?
No.
Nope. Okay, let's try it again. And you can just let me know if that wording is what you're looking for.
The council authorized the mayor to join the advocacy to support the Marine Amendment Act C-33. No, that would be incorrect. So that council authorized the mayor to join advocacy efforts against the Marine Act Amendment C-33. You got one extra act in there. There we go. And Councillor Chenard, would you like to make that motion?
I'll make a motion just like a Dansley wordsmith.
All right, Councillor Chenard makes that motion. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none, all those in favor? That motion is carried. Thank you very much. And that wraps up council committee reports. No financial items, questions from media and public regarding items from this council meeting. Any questions? No? Okay. Do we have anybody from the media? No? Okay. Thank you. Can I get a motion, please, that the meeting move into a closed session pursuant to Section 24 of the Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act? Councillor Moore?
I so move.
I so move.
Thank you. All those in favor? Motion carried. All right, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and we will reconvene our open session. Can I get a motion, please, that council approve the amendment to the Edson Medical Center Agent Corporation lease and authorize the CAO to finalize the lease as discussed in closed session? Councillor Chachka?
I so move.
Thank you. And would you like to speak to that, Councillor Chachka?
Sure. Through the mayor to council and the viewers, we have met with the doctors previously, and the intent of our medical center when the town bought it was to ensure that we have a consistent medical service in our community. It's well known that many communities are short on doctors and are struggling to retain them and attract them. And this motion here, as presented, is going to act in a proactive and fair manner to make sure that we can continue to retain and attract physicians in the future.
Thank you, Councillor Byer. Council, do you have any other further comments or questions on this issue? Just to further what Councillor Chachka said, we have been meeting with the physicians group, and we are working very closely with them for the attraction and retention of doctors in our community. We have a beautiful brand new hospital facility which has helped us retain our doctors over the last number of years. We haven't had a doctor shortage probably in well over a decade. And when we did have that shortage, that's when council at the time made the very prudent decision of purchasing the medical clinic to allow for things of this nature to help assist with our physician community. And we are going to continue to work with our physicians group as well as AHS on recruitment strategies, as we could be down to 11 doctors later on this spring. We have welcomed just recently a new doctor. We have another doctor that's going to be visiting our community later this month, and we are going to continue to collaborate with our health partners to ensure that our residents have access to medical care. We also own a physician's house in which has been very well utilized, and our physicians group has stated it's much needed in order to help us retain and attract those doctors to our community. And we do that in partnership with Yellowhead County. So with that, I will call the question. All those in favor? Motion carried unanimously. Councillor Chenard?
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Councillor. Hang on. Sorry, would you like to retract that motion?
I'll retract the motion and let Mr. Moore do
All right, thank you. Can I get a motion, please, from Councillor Moore that the council accept the YCE update as presented in closed session?
I shall make that motion.
All right, thank you, Councillor Moore. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none, all those in favor? That motion is carried unanimously. And Councillor Chenard.
Now I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Councillor Chenard. All those in favor? Motion carried.